The two fighter jets represent the rivalry between the People's Liberation Army Air Force and the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force in the Western Pacific, the Chinese J-10 Vigorous Dragon versus the Japanese F-2. Which one is superior? China's J-10 Vigorous Dragon, the first modern Chinese multi-role fighter, was introduced in 2005. An improved variant, the J-10B, has already entered service. Japan's F-2 multi-role fighter entered service in 2000. The Mitsubishi F-2 fighter is the result of the FSX program, a joint Japanese-American project to develop a multi-role fighter. Both the F-18 Hornet and the F-16 Fighting Falcon were proposed as a baseline, with the F-16 eventually winning out. At the time, the FSX program was controversial as many in the U.S. Congress feared transferring advanced fighter technology to Japan. Officially, the J-10 is the creation of the Chengdu Aircraft Design Group. Unofficially, it too has roots in an American aerospace program. The J-10 bears a striking resemblance to the joint American-Israeli Lavi fighter. Also based on the F-16, the Lavi was eventually cancelled due to cost and political concerns. In 1987, the Office of Naval Intelligence stated that China had received Lavi, and thus American technology, a conclusion shared with Janes. A joint collaboration between Mitsubishi and Lockheed, the F-2 took the basic F-16 design and enlarged it. The aircraft includes a 25% larger wing area, GE F-110 engine, and Japan's JAPG-1, the world's first active electronic scanning array radar installed on a fighter. It is armed with the Mitsubishi AAM-3 and AAM-5 infrared guided air-to-air missiles, similar to the AIM-9 Sidewinder, and the AAM-4 radar-guided air-to-air missile, similar to the AIM-7 Sparrow. The F-2 is also tasked with the anti-invasion mission, and is capable of carrying up to 4 ASM-2 anti-ship missiles. An M61 20mm Gatling gun rounds out the F-2's armament. Despite this, the aircraft is generally regarded as a failure. The per-unit cost of the F-2 was a staggering $171 million, more than 4 times that of an F-16C Block 50-52. Needless to say, the F-2 was not 4 times as effective as the F-16. The lone upshot of the F-2 was the opportunity it gave Japan's aerospace industry to work on a fighter program. The J-10 fighter is a delta-wing design, powered by Russian-made Saturn Lyulka AL-31 afterburning turbofan engines. The aircraft is equipped with a Type 1473H pulse Doppler radar, and has 11 hardpoints for weapons and external fuel tanks. For air-to-air combat, the J-10 carries PL-9 infrared-guided air-to-air missiles and PL-12 radar-guided missiles, and the Russian GSH 23-23mm cannon. It can also carry a variety of laser and satellite-guided bombs. All of that is very good, but which would win? At 520 miles, the F-2 has a better combat radius than the J-10, which is estimated at 340 miles. Assuming the two planes meet each other operating at equal distances from base, this would give the F-2 pilot slightly more fuel to maneuver and spend on speed. The J-10 also has an older design pulse Doppler radar to the F-2's more modern AESA radar, so the F-2 would probably detect the J-10 first. The two planes are roughly the same weight, but the F-2 has a slightly better thrust-to-weight ratio. All in all, the F-2 has the advantage. The story doesn't end there though. Both countries are upgrading the J-10 and F-2. China has already started production of the J-10B. The B model features an improved engine, the AL-31FN, with improved thrust and range. Further improvements include a phased array radar and infrared search and track, IRST, for short-range air-to-air engagements. In the case of Japan, F-2 production has already ceased, so the emphasis is on upgrading existing planes. The F-2 is receiving new data links and a new radar, the JAPG-2, which will be mated with the AAM-4B air-to-air missile. The AAM-4B is currently the only missile in the world with its own AESA radar. The after-launch target lock capability of the AAM-4B allows pilots to launch the missile and begin evasive maneuvers before achieving radar lock. Japan's F-2 would have the advantage in long-range fights, being able to launch AAM-4B missiles from beyond visual range and then turn and burn in retreat. Thanks to their data links, F-2 units will be able to coordinate these long-range launches for maximum effect. Although China's new phased array radar may be good, Japan's long experience in radars means it's safe to assume that the Japanese radar is better. J-10s might take serious losses in a scrape with the F-2 before they can even engage the enemy. If on the other hand the J-10 could get in close, the infrared search and track capability will give the Chinese fighter an advantage in short-range fights. The F-2 has no IRST. Both the J-10 and F-2 have their advantages and disadvantages. At long ranges, the F-2 would eat the J-10 alive. At short ranges, the tables turn. The long-range battle comes first though, and the F-2's advantage could be enough to end the fight before both sides enter visual range. In the end, the F-2 comes out ahead in this duel of fighters.